Today we're going to make the greatest Fleer Bubble Burger box in history. Notice I have an empty display box. This would date probably the mid-'80s. Most of these do. If you ever find one of these, good luck on that. But anyway, as you notice, it's empty. We're going to put 24 of the best Bubble Burgers in the archive in this box and create the perfect Bubble Burger, the ultimate Bubble Burger box. Anyway, here's what it looks like. I pulled this other day. You might have saw the video. So I'm really excited to get in here, pull out the best ones in the archive, and see if we can put together the best 24. Along the way, I'm going to tell you a little bit of history about these and what to look for when you're collecting these. First thing, so I took these came out of this box. So I took them out. As you can see, there's a bunch of doubles. And so what I'm going to do is they're going to be all different and the best ones in here. Another thing you're not seeing is I have another 30 of these that I'm selling that are in a completely different area of my storage. So these are the ones in the archive, my collection. So we're going to get these out first, and we're going to talk about what's rare. Like this one, for example. Have you ever seen this color? No, you haven't. That's the only one I ever found. So we're going to talk about those highlights, and also just kind of what to look for if you want to get into collecting Fleer Bubble Burger. I want to start by just pulling some of these out. Now, before I do this, let's say goodbye to this perfectly archived green row, for example. Now, everyone in this box, the Bubble Burgers, everything in this box are unique. There's no doubles in this box. Anyway, so I have way more than 24 unique Bubble Burgers is what I'm just trying to say. So this, I know we're going to do this pretty easily because they made these in so many different colors. I just want to start here, for example, and just tell you about these first. I think this is a good one for us to look at. Green is typically a good color when you're looking at plastics to see all the details. Okay, so this is a Fleer Bubble Burger. Oh, I didn't get a full one. Yeah, let me find a full one. I'm out of frame here finding a full one. I'm talking about one that has the burger in it. Here's one. So let me just show you what the burgers look like. So you might remember this. You pinch this down carefully. These are vintage. And, oh, this is a good one. Yeah, and so you might remember... Yeah, this one is in pristine condition. This is what a Fleer Bubble Burger looks like. This has been fossilized in the past 40 years. Great example, by the way. A lot of times these are blackish or just really dark. Now inside, sorry about the shadow. Notice they put it down a little piece of confectionery paper or, wax paper, basically. So let's get that closed up. Now, speaking of this is the main thing you look for when you're collecting these. Does it have the hinge? These, I would say, 1 out of 3 that you find will have a broken hinge. And I always sell mine that are broken like that. But yeah, you're always looking for, does the hinge still work? Look how brittle this thing is. So they're often broken. Okay. And then, of course, the different colors. And so we're going to look at those. So I'm going to put the green ones out here. So obviously, I'm going to have to put some green ones in the box. Let me set this phone down. Okay, so right out of the gate, we're going to put this pink one in because there's no other pink ones like this that I've ever found. So what they did in the 80s, we'll go ahead and add that. That'll be our first one. What they did in the 80s, they started making different types of Bubble Burgers. There's actually a Bubble Burger box that says Go Bananas on it. And they had all new colors, and it came with banana flavor burgers in it. And so I don't know which ones are the Go Banana ones, to be honest. I know white is one of them, and definitely yellow. But there's fucking tons of yellow ones. So anyway, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so the next one we're going to put in there is a white. Now let's compare this white, because what you're also looking for, can you see the color difference? It's very subtle. That's not the thing though. On some of them, they will have edited out. I feel like I'm rambling. Let me just get through this part. Let me just show you one other thing that you need to know. Okay, so on the tops of these, they will have different information. Can you see how? Yeah, the embossing on this one is unfortunately not very good. It's hard to see through the phone. Well, okay, look at this. So on this one, it says 82 ounces or 0.82 ounces. But on this one, it says 1.2 ounces. So that's one thing. They kept switching up the ounces. Now, this one is a Canadian variant. Do you see how it says it has this in French writing? These are extremely rare. Also, there's different writing on the back. So this one is the Canadian one that says Fleer, Ontario. So obviously that's going to be different. But if you look on the backs of even the U.S. ones, yeah, here's a good example. See how this has an extra line of text than this one? It's completely different. So if you're a collector, obsessed, oh, this one's completely different. Look at this one. Yeah, this stuff drives me insane. Look how this one's different. So that's why in this box here, I had them. They look like they're the same color, but they're all completely different variants. And I need to settle down. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this phone down, take a breath, and just pull some of these out. Yeah, I get really excited when I'm handling this stuff. Okay, so in the archive, gotta keep finding these in the box. They're not in the right place. Okay, so in my collection, I have 4 yellows that are completely different. That's all I've ever been able to find. So I don't want to add all 4 of these to the box, but this one, for example, is the Canadian one. I want to add that one. This one's also Canadian. Oh, it has the bubble back. This is what I deal with. And let's put a US in there. That could honestly be the Go Bananas variant. And this one's not very different, so we'll just put this to the side. Let's add some greens real quick just to get this ball rolling. We'll add this kind of semi-trans. That's another thing. Some of these are semi-trans, meaning if you put it to the light, you can see through it. Whereas this one, for example, is more opaque. So, dude, if you're into this kind of stuff, Bubble Burger is a great candy line to collect. If you like to collect all the different colors and variants, like I do. So I'm gonna add the Canadian one here, and let's definitely add a US at least. There's a solid, I would call that lime green US. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. And if we need to add these later to fill it in, we can, because they're all different anyway. One thing I want to tell you also is red is actually pretty rare color. It's definitely scarce. I think we can agree on that. So, and that's very rarely the case when it comes to candy, because I don't know if you knew this, but when it comes to candy and food items, red is often the first color people use in the confectionery world and just the food world, because red is a color associated with food and just being hungry. But for some reason with Fleer Bubble Burger, red is actually a very scarce color, and I've only been able to find 3 variants in the world. The Canadian, the US, oh, and I have another Canadian. In fact, this might be identical. No, it's not. This one has the bubble back and this has the plain back. So, yeah, in 20 years of collecting, I've only found 3 different reds. Let's go ahead and add a Canadian and a US. And we'll save the other Canadian if we need it for later. This is a rare one that I've found. Can you tell that this is red orange? Extremely rare red orange. It's not faded. This is how it was made. This probably went in one of the variant boxes. Not only did they have a Go Bananas variant, but they had some other variant boxes that I can't remember the names of. Let's go ahead. I'm over here pulling these out. All the pinks and purples. A few of these are sealed. Oh shit, got some more variant purples. Here goes my order. Oh God. Sorry, I just have to point this out. A neon pink Mr. Bones 1 of 1. All right, let's go ahead and focus here. So we have, this is what the pinks look like in Bubble Burger. Over the years, I've been able to find 3 different variants. Here's your standard hot pink. Now, she does come up on the market pretty regularly. Again, you got to look to make sure it has its little hinge there. And look how this one's getting weak. Let's go ahead and definitely add that. And over here, I have 2 of these edited ones. I can't remember what's different about them, except there's a little bit of a color difference. Yeah, that's what it was. This one is semi-trans, and this one's opaque. Let's just add this one. This one looks kind of special, and just save that for later. Let's look at all the purple bubble burgers. Now, again, all these are different. They look the same until you start looking at you start looking closely. Look how some of these get kind of bluish. Currently, there's never been a blue bubble burger found, or a clear bubble burger, or a brown one. There's some colors that we're still looking for. And by we, I mean just by myself. So I'm going to put one of the magenta ones. I'm just going to call it magenta, just to, and we'll call these purple, if that's okay, or fuchsia, whatever you want to call them. So let's take a fucking mint magenta one. Man, this one's full and everything. Put that in there. And this one looks a little different. It's opaque purple, also full. We might open a few of these up. Let's add one of these bluish ones. See how that's a different color than that. Not faded. Not faded. That's one thing. Some of these get faded, and I do have a faded one I'm going to show you. This is how it was made. So this is a true bluish variant. So add that, and let's add a US purple. If you want to get into collecting these, the prices on these, they lean a little higher than your normal candy container, but they're only like $15. Now if they're full like this one, they're more like 25, and sometimes even more depending on the color. Okay, let's go ahead and get out the oranges, and this is it. And then we'll put together the box. This is the faded one. And so let me show you how I know that. The reason I've kept it all this year is I don't want to sell anyone a faded one. And I do like these little weird variants. So if I open this, look how bright it is inside. So that's the telltale you're dealing with a faded little bubble burger, or just anything. Especially if it has an inside to it. Just look at the inside that hasn't had UV exposure. And by the way, I swear that looks like that rare one. But anyway. Yeah, so let's look at the oranges. Already I'm noticing this one's a weird one. Yep, it's a Canadian one. So that's the thing. So these were made in Canada, and they were also made in the US. To my knowledge, nowhere else. Definitely want to add a Canadian variant in there. That's a Canadian one, but that's the semi-trans Canadian. One thing I didn't think about before starting this video is how hard it is to show the details on a bubble burger. Notice how some have blocks on them. They have different numbers on them. That can drive you nuts, or it can make you want to collect more. That's what happened to me. It made me want to collect more. So anyway, I'm just going to add that one. I don't know. They're all different anyway. So yeah. So I just want to put together a little box. We'll round this out. Let's add definitely a pink one. Definitely add the scarce red. So yeah. So they're really fun to collect. One good thing I can leave you with is what a bubble burger looks like when it's full. So yeah. There you go. So hopefully that brings back a good memory for you. Just that image there. This would come out, slide out. And this is how the box came when I got it. I didn't break the preparation. And that's a bubble burger box. The greatest one ever created, basically. I could put a little more thought into which ones to switch out, but yeah, basically the rarest one. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Just a little fun thing I thought of. because it might have been boring just to sit here and talk about each one of these. So I thought I'd do a little fun thing and make a perfect box. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and get out there and collect, man. Oh, by the way, holy shit. Yeah, so this one's cracked. Can you see that? That's another thing that happens. Sometimes they have their hinge, but the tab is cracked. And the reason I kept this anyway is because it's one of the Canadians with the bubble back. It's the only one I've ever found. So yeah, I think that's the only one I've ever kept that has any sort of break or crack on it. And I do have the faded one for fun. Well, yeah, there's much more we could look at, but those are different videos, and I'll see you guys around. And Russ Fan out. Hey, Kevin. And Victor.